I'm excited to share with you a series of episodes entitled I Love Your Love. I have invited a few of my friends who have agreed to share their stories on life and love. Let's take a look at their interviews. Hi, welcome to this edition of Life with Lachelle, Reality Without the Drama. We are doing a segment called I Love Your Love. And today I have two friends with me, Sheila and Frank Battle. They are podcasters, and the name of their podcast is
Soulful Conversation with Frank and Sheila.
Soulful Conversations with Frank and Sheila. So guys, tell us a little bit about yourself. Sheila, you elaborate a little bit on yourself, and then Frank, you do so on you, and then bring it together and tell us about a couple, as you guys as a couple, and what it is that you do.
So I'm Sheila Battle, and I'm a Philly girl, transplant.
A Philly girl.
Yeah, moved to.
You do have that accent though.
Thank you that I still have it.
You
Thank
do.
you for saying I still have it.
Now that you say that.
My husband likes to say that I'm from a rural county in Virginia. I'm not going to say which one. But I'm a Philly transplant and have been here for 30 years and just have absolutely loved being in Virginia. Virginia is for lovers. And have worked and done ministry and been heavily involved in community stuff, and met this guy right here on what was supposed to be a blind date. And fell in love, and the rest is history.
We're going to talk a little bit more about that. So Frank, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, my name is Frank Battle.
Uncle Frank is
Uncle
Frank, Mr. Frank,
Funkle.
Oh, what? Okay.
Fun
and Uncle mixed together. Yeah.
Funkle Frank.
I'm everybody's uncle.
Yes, you are.
My name is Frank Battle. I'm originally from North Carolina. I'm a country boy from a small town called Wilson, North Carolina. Went to college in North Carolina. And I'm going to say it like other people say it, the North Carolina Central University. Pause. Okay. So
is he serious about it like that?
Yes. Went to college there. Worked in North Carolina after graduating. The story about the blind date, I worked at IBM with the guy who introduced us.
Okay.
And so he kept saying, there's this girl that I want you to meet. Girl. I was like, man, go ahead, go with that, go away, go. So finally we had a chance to meet, and as they say, the rest is history. So
Frank and Sheila, you two have two amazing daughters. Tell us about your daughters.
Yes. So we have two miracle daughters, Trinity Renee and Zion Sheree, and they are 19 and 15.
19 and 15.
We are head over heels in love with them, and they are daddy's girls, and it is 3 against 1. You would think they would side with their mama every now and then, but they just don't. Just whatever he says, they just jump on board with that. But we're just grateful because these kids, they just weren't supposed to be according to science and medical doctors. But from the beginning, my husband kept saying, you're going to have my child, and it's going to be fine. And his faith just never wavered. He never doubted, never second guessed it, just always believed. Him and my dad literally just never confessed what the doctor said. They never repeated it. They just kept saying, we're going to have some babies. We're going to have some babies. And we have 2.
That is a great testimony, especially on the words that you speak and how powerful your tongue is.
Yes.
And not to mention your faith.
Yeah. Because I tell people all the time, I didn't have the faith to believe. Because I was the one that was sick. So I didn't have the faith to believe that they were possible.
He picked it up for you.
He did.
But you know what's interesting about that? That was very early in our Christian experience. So, I mean, it was, I know they sound crazy. It was definitely God. Because I had not learned all the faith tenets and faith elements and scriptures and all of that then. So it was just something in me that just had that was planted there. And with Pop, my father-in-law, we would just talk about the kids and what we was gonna do with the kids.
Wow.
And we would just have those conversations because we would bounce off each other's faith and talk about the kids and what would happen and how we was looking forward to it.
And I had been in church and knew all of that stuff.
Right.
And didn't have it.
Right.
Didn't have faith to believe for them.
It happens, you know. So how long from that experience did it take for you to conceive?
So we met in 1995. We got married in 1997, and Trinity was born in 2000.
Okay.
And so that even in those years between 97 and 2000, him and my dad were still having these conversations.
Yeah.
And I was saying, why are they doing that? Like, they should stop. And it was getting hard because I was going to everybody's baby showers and I was doing all of these things.
Really hard.
And still, until the test came back, didn't believe. Honestly, I didn't. I could not be more in love with my girls. But I'm very honest with them in their purpose and how they got here. And that it was not the faith of their mother that got them here. It was the faith of their father and their grandfather and their grandmothers that got them here. And they're just amazing kids. They bless us immeasurably. And I appreciate that they know their miracle story and they live in it.
We shared that with them.
They live in it. And they'll tell you, no, I'm supposed to be here. Like, because against all odds, this wasn't supposed to happen. But I'm here. And so I have a purpose and there's a plan and God has something he wants me to do. And if they're not sure of anything else, they're sure about that. And so that faith thread is definitely embedded in them as young women.
And the thing with that, how it was in the beginning, it was very difficult. And there were probably, I'm not boasting myself on this, but there probably would be men that probably would have walked away because we had ovarian cancer to deal with before we went down the aisle.
Right.
You know, and I could have easily said, I don't want to put up with this.
Yeah.
You know,
because you said, I want children.
Right.
And I tried to get rid of them. I tried to get rid of him. I said, you don't have any kids.
Right.
You should be with somebody who can do that for you. Please don't move here. Like, we should stop. Like, we should stop this relationship right now. And he acted like I was just the most ridiculous person on the planet. Like, you still don't understand. No, we're going to have these kids.
Right.
Now, I don't know how long it's going to take. And it did take those 3 years. It took every bit of it. And there was no point in that time where he said, well, maybe we should adopt. Or maybe we should go to the fertility specialist. Or maybe he never said that to me. My father never said. I mean, the two of them, and I don't mean to dismiss my mother and my mother-in-law because they were very critical to this story as being powerhouses in prayer. But it was my husband and my dad that kept saying it. They kept saying it. They kept saying it. And I think that my mother and my mother-in-law they were so sensitive to my feelings. That they were praying, but they didn't put that on me. Like, they weren't saying it because they didn't want me to feel pressured. Like, part of my womanhood was connected to being able to produce a child and carry it to term. But my husband and my father, like, they weren't thinking about, I don't want to say they wasn't thinking about my feelings or whatever, but their faith was just that strong. And they would literally have conversations about things they were going to do with these imaginary kids that didn't exist yet. And it took a lot, and I learned how to appreciate that and how to go, wow, like, really? Like, they're still saying it's year 2. Okay, year 3. And they just kept believing and refused to stop. So
and then we were blessed enough that I shout her out, Dr. Susan Ponder,
and Dr. Karen Jefferson. We had amazing physicians.
I mean, that were just solid, good Christian women that just said, "Oh no, this is going to happen."
They were agreeing with him. Like, he would come with me to the appointments, and they in there talking, and I'm in the stirrups, like, really, people, like, what are we doing?
And then it would just be like, I would it was a balance because you know I didn't want to make her feel. I was like, okay, am I going too far with this?
Right,
and
because you couldn't scare her.
Making her feel bad about if it doesn't go right, and her concerns. But Dr. Susan Ponder and Dr. Jefferson was just like, oh yeah, it's going to happen, and it was just. That's when Trinity was born. That name Trinity. Matter of fact, this band has her name in it. Trinity. It was us, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. It was the 3 of us. That is how that's the meaning of her name at that point in time. There was no other name. We was like, she would be called Trinity.
And I think that says a lot for you as the man in the relationship, as being the head of the household and establishing that foundation early on. So I commend you and your father-in-law. What is his father?
It was my father.
Your father. for doing that
Yeah.
because, I think a lot of men, like you said, would have given up and or whatever, but you took the bull by the horns and you was like, so.
And it's actually interesting that this conversation turned this way because I think a lot of times and we don't share our story as an infertility story, but it really was. People always focused on the woman, and people don't focus on how infertility is affecting the man.
Very much so.
And my husband he didn't fall into all of the stereotypical roles of, I just got to soothe my wife. I just got to comfort her. This probably isn't going to happen. No, he was the person stepping out in full faith from the beginning, from before the beginning. Literally, when we were dating, I was going through my second set of treatments, and he would drive from Durham to Richmond and sit in the bathroom and hold my head.
Right, I remember.
I mean, and I would just be so sick, and I would lay on the bathroom floor, and he would say, "No, come, you need to get in the bed." And I would go, "I'm just gonna lay here because I'm just gonna throw up again in 15 minutes." And literally, even then, having all of that experience, he still was saying, "This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen." Right. And I was going, we just had my head in the toilet. Like, why are you still saying this is going to happen? And yet it just didn't dawn on him to doubt.
And see, y'all were going through that. What is it when you do your vows? From sickness and health. Y'all were going through that
before, and that was why I kept saying, let's stop this relationship. Like, stop. Like, you're driving, you're spending all this money. You have to sleep on the sofa because I'm so sick, and you don't have to do this. Plus, we had a homicide and a trial and all of that, and I kept saying, I have to be the most dramatic filled person. You should meet you a nice country girl who doesn't have all of this crazy stuff going on. And he just kept coming back, and he just kept coming back. And every time he came back, I watched this bond form between him and my parents, And they were falling in love with him, and I was falling in love with him. And it was inevitable that we would get married, but it was his faith in my father that got those babies here.
Wow, that is an interesting and very testimonial story, and we're going to be back and hear more about their story in just a minute. Welcome back to Life with Lachelle, and again I have with me Sheila and Frank Battle. We're having a great conversation about their relationship, how they started, and some of the challenges in their relationship even before they even got married. But I want to just take this little opportunity to just tell you how much I love your love. And that is one of the reasons why I asked you to be on the show, because you guys have been mentors to me, just watching you and just how you interact. And that's why it was vital to have you on the show, because I know for my own personal experience that y'all keep it real. And that's what I want our viewers to see, how real, because we watch people on television all the time. And I'm not trying to mock anything that we have seen, like Love Is and the things on or on other shows. This was just placed in my heart. Even at that same time, I'm like, wait a minute, they stole my idea. But no, that's not. I just was a little slow moving when God said move. But that doesn't mean I should not start do it.
That's right.
But my thing is that I just wanted to let you know how much I love you guys personally, and how much I love the love that you have for each other. Because I've heard your story before, and I just wanted you guys to be able to share with our viewers how you can overcome those obstacles and all those challenges and still love on each other the way that you do. Because you guys do that. Y'all have a wonderful podcast. Make sure y'all check that out later on. We'll talk more about that. But share with our viewers some of the challenges and obstacles that you have overcome even in your marriage. We heard about the before. But even during the marriage, I know you had some really good times. And we all talk about how the good times are. But how do you overcome those challenges? What were they, and how did you overcome?
So the first thing I want to do is say thank you.
Thank you.
Because we love you too.
Yeah.
And we've loved you for a long time.
Long time.
And it's long time. And we couldn't be more proud of you.
Yeah.
We pray for you. We still
Thank
pray
you.
for
I know
you.
you do. I feel all the time.
And it's an honor for us to sit here with you and watch you obey God and do what He's calling you to do. So thank you for just
Even in my
inviting
fear.
And fear, but you don't. But you can do it afraid. The fear doesn't have to be absent to do it. And we're proof of that.
Yes, yes.
But to answer your question, you said, how do we overcome the challenges?
What challenges did you have, and how did you overcome that?
So I'll speak to one of them.
Okay.
It was challenging for us to be sandwiched between dependent children and dependent parents.
Yeah.
Right.
And
What do you mean by that?
So,
Somebody might not
so technically it's called the sandwich generation.
generation.
And it's
Okay.
when you're squeezed between children who still depend on you and you can file on your taxes, and you got your parents who you can't file on your taxes, and you got to take care of them too.
Okay.
And our parents, like they literally started deteriorating at the same time.
Yeah.
We had my mother and father and Frank's mother, and the three of them, I felt like every week we were in the hospital with somebody. We were in the doctor's office with somebody. And at the same time, we have these two kids, plus all the other children who hang out at the battle station, full-time jobs, ministry, and we still got to look like we like each other.
Yeah.
And it was hard. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it was hard. The way that we faced it was to be honest.
Yeah.
Just be honest.
Yes.
And we gave each other the grace
Great.
to say, I can't cook you dinner tonight. I just can't do it. I can't.
Just honestly, I don't feel like having sex.
We can't have sex tonight. Like, we just cannot. I can't do another thing. Please, even if I drank a Red Bull, I would fall out right now. We just can't do that.
Yeah.
But I love my husband so much because he never metered his expectations by how he treated me. So even when he didn't get what he wanted, even when he didn't get what he expected, he still loved me. He still was sweet to me. He still was kind to me. And he let me figure it out, because what he knew was that our kids was gonna be straight and our parents was gonna be straight. Our kids were gonna be straight and our parents were gonna be straight. And if it meant drive to North Carolina and give his mother a bath, I was gonna do it. I was gonna do it. If Zion woke up at 3 a.m. with a nosebleed, we alternate. Okay, who gonna stay home with her? We just made it was never an expectation that all of it would be on me. That whole thing about gender roles and who does what, bleh.
Yeah.
What needs to be done,
Needs to be
and
done.
who has the strength and capacity to do it.
Okay.
And we were able to talk and be honest. And if we didn't have capacity, I could just say, I can't, babe. I just
Right.
can't.
And there would be some days we would do like fall like on the covers on the bed. The bed would be made up, and we would just cross the bed and fall out of sleep and wake up and
Wow.
go, wait.
Wow, we still got our clothes on.
Yeah, like we still gotta close up.
Yeah, and another part of that, when we were dealing with the parents, in the midst of that, we had a situation in the professional side, career. You know, Sheila had gotten, terminated.
Right.
And we had a legal case in the midst of all of this going on with her dad.
Yeah.
And so when your dad is, you're praying for your father and you're waiting to make sure, oh God, I hope he's okay. And then you go to work and bottom falls out.
Right.
Like, what do you do?
No job.
And I was the breadwinner.
Yeah.
And I was the breadwinner. So when you have that type of chunk come out of your household,
Right.
my father is dying, his mother is sick. Like, it was so much, and it never dawned on me to say our marriage isn't worth all of this. We could clearly identify that everything that was happening outside of us. We love our mothers, we loved our kids, but that wasn't us. It wasn't us.
Right.
And so we were able to keep this tight while we were doing all of those other things.
That's a feat in itself.
Yeah.
That's a feat.
We
in
didn't
itself
turn on
because-
each other.
Right.
Because you could actually lose yourself in all those
Yes.
other things and neglect
Yes.
each other.
Because
Yeah.
my mother was, like I said, I grew up in Wilson. It's one of those small towns, and the major hospital was in East Carolina. East Carolina University is in Greenville, North Carolina. It's about a 45-minute drive. So we're driving from Richmond down to Greenville to the hospital. And it would be literally time. We would be so tired. We would go down those crooked roads just holding hands.
Yeah.
We wouldn't talk. We were just holding hands. And I mean, there were days we would cry.
Yeah.
And we would just say, this is hard. And we would check in, how you feeling, you okay? And we would go through it and do it. And it's like, even for her running back and forth from going to the lawyer's office, and then she called me and said, hey, Pop, we got to go check on Pop. And then we got to make sure Mama's all right. You know, so we're checking on Mama and making sure that, you know, she's home by herself, that she's getting enough rest, that she's eating right, because she's worried about her husband. And our mothers were like sisters.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So she would ask me, she was like, well, how's Vashti doing? So I'd be like, well, you know, she's
Well, I'm call her.
because I didn't want her to worry. Because I'm like, you got enough, you're dealing with Pop right here. So we had all of the balance of all that along with the kids. And so it was just a thing of, like you just said, staying connected through it all. And just not allowing those obstacles to come in, make us bitter, angry, or whatever, and just being real transparent and honest with our feelings. You know?
Right, exactly. That means a lot.
Yeah.
So, how are you guys today? What's going on?
Girl, it's good. Woo! It's good. It's good. It's good.
It's all good.
Awesome. Tell us about how good it is.
So I think one of the reasons why, and I know that people probably, I don't know what people think, but we've gotten some insight on what people think, and it's really kind of funny. But I like him. Like, I actually like him. Like, if I wasn't married to him, I would still want to hang out with him.
Right.
Like, I like him. He's really my friend, my best friend, and we're married.
And you're married.
And we're married. Now, we had a season in our marriage where we were so busy being friends that we forgot to be lovers.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Then we had to check it.
And then we had to check that. And say, wait a minute, I know I like you, but you sexy too. And you know, like,
And look, she will make sure she'll stop in the middle of maybe we having a conversation. She'll go to like Frank and say something. See, that's why I love y'all. Because she be like, this on him.
Yes,
and all
because if he that close, I gotta touch him. But we figured it out, and we figured it out because we meant we're better together. And I don't want to do this life without him.
Right.
I just don't want to. And so exploring what that would be like is not something I think about. It's literally, this is my best friend, and we're married. And then God opened doors for us to do all of this cool stuff together.
Y'all doing some great things
And we get to do it together. And I think one of the resentments I always had was when you're a strong woman, when you are...
Say that again.
When you're a strong woman?
Yes.
Okay.
When you're
a strong woman. So funny.
You must like that.
When you're a strong woman, people try to pit you and your mate against each other, and they try to create hierarchies. Be very clear. I know who covers me.
Right.
I know who my head. And trust me, there's nothing that I'm doing that he doesn't know, hasn't prayed for, covered me in prayer about, and we haven't discussed. So when people see us out, they might see me, they might hear me because I'm the extrovert, he's the introvert. But don't sweat the technique. His behind the scenes is what's keeping me in front.
Because there are times,
It's no way I could do it
there are
without
times when things come about and she'll say, hey, you know, this woman, you know, I got this invitation, this thought came to me, and I'm like, I don't think that's good.
Right.
I think we probably should, you know, pause from that. And then she'll be like, you think so? Then she'll say, okay. Okay. And then down the line, a couple of ways, you might get a little whisper of something. And say, oh.
I'm glad I listened to my husband. I'm glad I listened to my husband. I'm glad I didn't do that. And so, but perception, you know, we say this all the time. Perception doesn't have to be true. It just has to be believable. And I thank you for giving us this opportunity, because I think sometimes people see and they have a perception, but it's not true. It's not true. We really do talk about everything. We really do pray and see God about all of it. We couldn't live in open community the way we do if we didn't do that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? When he says, okay, it's time to cut it off with the battle station, we need to lock down, we lock down.
Right.
Now, I might sit in the corner and go, but I miss the babies. I miss the babies so much.
We've done that. We've done that for a while. It was a short time.
Yeah, but he knows, and I trust the voice of God in his ear. And he knows, okay, we got to turn this down for a minute. I trust that. And so when he says, no, I don't think you should do that event. Or, no, you might not want to do this event at that church. Or you're doing too much and it's time for you to sit down. And guess what I do? I get a blanket and a book, and I sit down, and I don't fight him about it.
Yeah, and I think with you guys, you know, it's not that you had an instance where you're like, oh no, he's just jealous because I'm
No.
There's no jealousy,
No.
there's no resentment that she's doing this and that,
No.
because Sheila does a lot. And God uses her mightily. Not that he doesn't use you, Frank, but you're the introvert, she's the extrovert, and she's out there, and you're not jealous of anything that she's doing, because y'all actually do it together. But like you said, people looking on the outside might be thinking something separately, but y'all are actually in this together.
And we couldn't do it if he was not absolutely a strong man.
Yes.
Who is secure in who he is.
Yes.
And he loves to see me shine.
It's nothing.
It's nothing jealous. It's nothing like when we did TEDx Grace Street. I needed to know where's my husband in this ordinance. like from the time it started, before I went on the stage, the last person to touch me was him. He knows how to source me. He knows how to feed me. It's not just, what people think or, Sheila's always out there. No, I couldn't do it without this part.
Right.
I couldn't do it without the things that happen behind the scenes that people don't know about. And because if I can zero in on him, I can do anything. Give me a microphone, put me on stage, ask him to do whatever, and I can do it. But I can do it because I can zero in, and I know where my husband is. And if something ain't right, and I see his face, I go, okay, tweak that. Because he's honest with me.
Exactly.
He's not impressed.
We need that. He's not impressed.
I am, but I have to give that feedback.
Yeah.
In order for her to be her best.
Yeah, and you receive it,
right.
And that works out.
I do.
That is awesome because
because I knew I had to be. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I'm sorry.
Like I knew I had to go backstage while she was getting the makeup put on. Then I had to run around, and then the lady wouldn't let me in. Because she said the door's closed. I said, ma'am, you don't understand. I'm going through that door with my big 6'4", 5'7".
Yes, man.
And I don't mean no harm. And so she was like, well, okay, I'm going to let you in. So I knew where I had to be because I did not want her to even come through the side of that stage and look over there where I was sitting before and not see me, because I know what. There was so much
I would have panicked.
There was so much weight in that moment. And so it's just that support being there. And sometimes, she'll say something like, I don't want to do this by myself. And I'm like, you're not by yourself.
But you're not.
And she'll try to shy away, and I'm like, you're not by yourself. Stop playing.
You're doing that.
On that note, we'll take a brief moment, okay? Welcome back to Life with Lachelle. I have Frank and Sheila with me, and we are going to play a nice little fun game called Not So Newlywed Game.
Okay.
Just to see how much they know about each other and what the other one might think or say. So our first question is, let's see. If you could describe your spouse in one word, what word would that be? So Frank, what word do you think how she would describe you?
Kind.
Kind. Is that your answer? Did you write that on the paper?
Okay, so no, because I think I did this wrong. Because I thought I was writing what he would say about me.
Right. No. What? Oh Lord, I messed it up again. So say
if you asked me about him, I would say he's kind. I would.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
I would.
So what you think she would say about you?
Crazy.
And what did you have on the paper?
So if I was saying, I think we did it backwards. So if it was what he would say, I would say about me, serious. Because he says I'm way too serious.
Oh, okay.
And I would say he's kind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you have kind?
I did have kind.
Oh, yay.
That's
okay, so
right. Okay, we'll get it. We're gonna get it.
Yep.
Get it.
Yep.
As we go along, and really, there's really no
Right answer.
right or wrong answer. I mean, no wrong answer. So the next one, what would your spouse say is his or her best and worst feature? So what would Frank would say is his best or worst feature?
You did it wrong again.
I did it wrong again. So
Did you do it right?
I think I did.
Okay.
So I wrote what I would say.
Not what you would say. Yours is. You were supposed to say what he would say his is.
So I said that he would say his best feature is his height.
Mm-hmm.
And his worst feature is his nose.
That's the nose part. True, the height, man.
That's what I had.
Yeah. But I
And so, what would you say? Yours. I'm asking you the questions.
Yeah, I know for her, I said the best would be like what she said, referenced earlier about, I put like when she's speaking, and when she gets up, and how she feels in that moment. And the worst would be planning.
And that's true, because I hate that part.
She hates that part.
I hate that part. I just want to show up and do the thing and leave.
The planning part.
The infrastructure, the planning, I hate. Oh, I don't want to send the invoice. I don't want to do none of that.
No.
I just want.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I wouldn't get paid if you didn't have
Did
to.
you do this part? Did you do that part? Did you write this up? Did you do this?
Yeah, and I'm like, no.
Did you send, whatever bullets or notes you want to put on it?
No.
I hate all of that part.
So then we had
You
to
said,
sit
I got you
down.
covered.
Yeah, we had to sit down and go
Yeah.
through it.
We had to
And
sit down
she
and
just
go
sitting
through
there like this. Do we have to do this?
So that was number 2.
Yes.
Number
Got
3.
it.
Who is the best cook?
Tribute card.
Who's the best cook?
She is.
Sheila is.
Mm-hmm.
Do you cook at all, Frank?
I probably have started more since changing the diet.
Yes. Now he's become
okay,
vegan.
yeah.
He don't have to wait for me. He can just stir fry whatever he wants.
Okay.
But Mr. Frank is famous for his tea. Mr. Frank
Oh.
makes the best sweet tea. I don't know what it is,
I
but
don't either. Yeah.
It's just tea.
because he keeps thinking he's not doing anything special. But people come over our house and leave notes on our refrigerator. Literally.
We out of
Mr.
tea.
Frank makes the tea. Yup, they do.
I went out of town and came back. Somebody left a note. Frank, when you get back, can you make some tea?
Like, what you mean he went out of town and didn't leave us no sweet tea? He didn't leave us any
He
sweet
was
tea.
stuck on the refrigerator.
Look, you have to leave like gallons
Yes.
next time you leave.
Yes.
And actually, we had someone gave us a tea maker when we as a wedding present. And a couple of years ago, maybe a year ago.
Yeah,
It
like
broke.
we were
It finally broke.
we were
Oh,
like
wow.
16, 17 years in, and the thing finally broke.
Oh, wow.
So we went through a no tea period. So then they were like, no,
Where's the tea?
You had to buy a tea maker. So we couldn't find that brand, so we got a new one. So we tried.
So now he can make the tea. For
Oh,
all
you
y'all
need
who
to
like
start
the tea,
selling that.
come make
Ain't
come
nothing
eat some
special.
tea.
Ain't nothing special.
Come drink the tea.
So who manages the finances better?
Mr. Frank.
Mr. Frank? Mr.
Mr.
Frank. That is agreement. All right.
I'm a
number
chronic
5.
swiper. I just
Oh.
swipe. Pray for me. Pray
I
for
don't
me.
know. I'm with the
Swiping, no
girls.
swiping. Swiper, no swiping.
Like, stop
No.
swiping.
Okay, number 5. What is your pet name for your spouse? So what is her pet name for you?
Boo,
Yup.
All right, and what is your pet name for him?
Babe.
babe.
We are babe and boo.
Babe and Boo.
Babe and boo.
B and B. All right, the last one. Who usually gets their way?
She does.
I kind of figured that one.
But you know what? And tell me if this is true. Usually what I want is what's best for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's rare that I want something and I want it for me. It's like I want something but I want it because this is how it's gonna affect the battle station. So I get on their nerves about gifts and stuff because I never ask for stuff that's specifically for like I want a washing machine or I want a vacuum or I want to, I
That's
want
for the
something
battle
that's
station.
yeah, it's for the battle station.
Yeah.
Like I wanted an air fryer. I wanted an Instapot. Just because I can cook.
It benefits everybody.
Right. It's not like buy me a cook.
Oh no, get a new diamond. Or I want some
Yeah,
earrings.
yeah,
or
I
some
can't ask for no
yeah.
more bling.
And then sometimes I'll say, why you want that? And then we'll have a conversation about it.
Okay.
And you might not get it in that moment, but
Right.
it's
It's like, okay, let me think about it.
and she was like, well, if I had a
If I had an Instapot, you could have some black eyed peas in 45 minutes.
45 minutes. I'm like, you know what? You're right. Amazon.
Frank and Sheila. Sheila, tell our viewers how they can get in touch with you if they need to find out more about you.
So I'm
And
really
Frank.
gonna lean to him on this, but because I messed them all up. But We have SheilaBattle.com, thebattlestation.org, thesoulcarecoach.com are all websites where you can get in touch with us. You want to know about events coming up or how to book us for anything, you can use those. And then we have all of these social media platforms that I'll let him
we
tell you
have
about.
Soulful Conversation.
No S.
No S, with Frank and Sheila. That's on Facebook. The Battle Station is also on Facebook. We have
15 Minutes of Grace is on
15
Facebook.
Minutes of Grace on Facebook. That's the book, by the way, which you
Yes.
can order.
Yes,
on
please.
The link will be below.
Yes.
Buy the book. It's great.
Please do.
And it's available on Amazon as well. And also we have We Are the Battles, which is on Twitter.
I did not know
At
about
We
that.
Are the Battles. It's the Battle Station TV. We have a YouTube channel
YouTube channel.
called the Battle Station TV. And we also have
Podcast.
15 Minutes of Grace, Twitter.
Yeah, 15 Minutes of Grace is on Twitter.
I am Frank Battle, Twitter. And we do have the podcast.
The podcast.
Which is on all the podcast
All
platforms.
your favorite podcast
Soulful
platform.
Conversation with Frank and Sheila.
Yeah.
Which
Yes.
we will be putting out more.
And they
But
have-
go back and listen to the other ones because they're really funny.
Yeah. So all that information will be provided for you
Yeah.
below.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And y'all are doing a great thing. I really appreciate you for being part of this episode of I Love Your Love.
Yes.
And thank you for being on Life with Lachelle, reality without the drama. Without the drama. This is real life stuff.
Yeah.
Without the drama. Always remember to live, laugh, and love in no particular order because you only have one life to live. Live it without limits. Love unconditionally and laugh often. Until next time, ta-ta.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this episode of Life with Lachelle, I Love Your Love edition. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and click on the notification bell so you will be alerted when the next episode will air. Until next time, I am your host, Lachelle, and thanks again for watching Life with Lachelle, reality without the drama.